himself, Mr. Phil Queeazy. It's nice to be here at the historical Capitol Theater and to honor a historical radio station, KBNU, going strong after all these years, and I'm happy to take part in it. Now, I thought for my part of the program, I would like to continue in the theme of old stuff and bring back some of my old favorites, and I hope some of yours. Now, you'll probably have to think back with me. You remember the story about the little old lady from London, England? Sweet little old thing. She decided she wanted to move to Switzerland. She loved the Alps. And so she moved to Switzerland. Actually, she took a trip to Switzerland. And with the help of the local village schoolmaster, they looked for an apartment for the little old lady, and they found one. And then she hurried back to London to pack her bags. When she got to London, she realized she had not noticed the bathroom in her apartment. And so she hurriedly wrote out a letter to the village schoolmaster back in Switzerland. And she was a little shy. She didn't want to see the bathroom. So she grew up calling it water closet. And she was even a little shy about that. She called it the WC. Well, when the village schoolmaster got the letter, he was a little puzzled over WC. And then he saw the parish priest coming down the road. And he says, "What does WC stand for?" He looked at it and said, "Wesleyan Church." And so the schoolmaster wrote out a letter to the little old lady waiting for a reply back in London, England, and it went like this. "Dear Madam, the WC is situated 9 miles from the house, in the center of a beautiful grove of trees. It is capable of holding 350 people at a time, and it is open on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays each week. A large number of folks attend during the summer months, so it is suggested you go early, although there is plenty of standing room. Some folks like to take their lunch and make a day of it, especially on Thursday, when there is organ accompaniment. The acoustics are very good, and everyone can hear the slightest sound. It may be of interest to you to know that my daughter was married in our WC, and it was there she met her husband. We hope you'll be there in time for our bazaar to be held very soon. The proceeds will go towards the purchase of plush seats, which the folks agree are a long-felt need, as the present seats all have holes in them. My wife is rather delicate, and therefore she cannot attend regularly. It's been 6 months since the last time she went. Naturally, it pains her very much not to be able to go more often. Well, I shall close now with the desire to accommodate you in every way possible, and I will be happy to save you a seat down front or near the door, whichever you prefer. Sincerely, the schoolmaster. Commercial break. Is that correct, State Manager? All right, thank you very much. I've been very concerned, ladies and gentlemen, about communication. Communication is something that the world isn't doing very well lately. How would you like President Bush next year to pick up the wrong telephone, thinking he's ordering a pizza with everything and blowing up the world just because of a communication mistake? And I have 3 brothers that maybe you've heard me talk about. I've got one brother who works in the welfare office. And I've got another brother who was the principal of the junior high school, and I have another brother who was an accident claim investigator. They have accumulated a massive number of written correspondence where people did not communicate very well. And just to show you what I mean, these are from my welfare officer brother, Dole Queeazy, and he's out in Ballard Junction. Folks are not communicating. Listen to this. "I am forwarding my marriage certificate and 6 children. I have 7 children, but one died, which was baptized on a half sheet of paper. Thank you very much." People are not communicating. Another one, "Mrs. Jones has not had any clothes for a year and has been visited regularly by the clergy." They're not communicating. Here's another one. "I am happy to report that my husband, who is missing, is dead. I am forwarding my marriage certificate and 3 children. One of which is a mistake, as you can see. Another welfare letter. Please find for certain if my husband is dead. The man I'm now living with can't eat or do anything until he knows. Unless I get my husband's money pretty soon, I'll be forced to live an immortal life. You have changed my little boy to a girl. Will it make any difference? Not until he gets to junior high PE. Another welfare letter. This is, in accordance with your instructions, I have given birth to twins in the enclosed envelope. Probably came with postage, too. Another welfare letter. I want my money as quick as I can get it. I'm sick and have been in bed with the doctor for 2 weeks, and he doesn't do me any good. If things don't improve, I'll have to send for another doctor, maybe a specialist. Last welfare. People are not communicating. I'm very much annoyed to find that you have branded my son as illiterate. This is a dirty lie. I was married a week before he was born. Now, I've got a brother, Caligula Queeazy. He's the principal of Morton Downey Junior High. And several excuses have come in from parents, when their kids would miss a day at school. Here's one. Dear school, please accuse John for being absent on January 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st, 32nd, and 33rd. Thank you very much. These are real letters, folks. People are not communicating. Dear school, please execute Johnny for being. It was his father's fault. This mother is not a happy camper. Dear school, Mary could not come to school yesterday because she was bothered by very close things. Dear school, my daughter was absent from school yesterday because she was very tired. She spent the weekend with the Marines. I like a patriotic girl. Please excuse Joyce from physical education. She fell out of a tree and misplaced her hip. Communicating. Sam, please excuse Ray Friday from school. He has very loose vowels. A-E-I and all is special. Mary Ann was absent December 11th through the 16th because she had a fever, a sore throat, headache, and upset stomach. Her sister was also sick. I wasn't feeling the best either. Sore throat and fever. And, there must be something going around. Her father even got hot last night. Dear school, George was absent yesterday because he had a stomach. Ralph was absent yesterday because he had a sore trout. Please excuse Sarah for being absent. She was sick and I had her shots. You think that's bad? My brother Crash Queeazy, a claims adjuster for one of the local insurance companies. These are some claims that people have submitted. Accident reports. Listen to this. Coming home, I drove into the wrong house and collided with a tree I don't have. Works for the mail department. A truck backed through my windshield and into my wife's face. Now there's a big lady. How would you like to be the guy who's got to pick up the phone and call for the record? Yeah, could you guys come over and pull an 18-wheeler out of my wife's face? And if you find the dentist, extract him too. People are not communicating. But I pulled away from the side of the road, took a look at my mother-in-law, and drove over the embankment. I had been driving my car for 4 years when I fell asleep at the wheel and had an accident. If I was a passenger in a car where the guy had been driving for 4 years, I'd be the one having an accident. You got to pull over and sleep every 2 years, whether you feel the need or not. Another insurance claim. To avoid hitting the bumper of the car in front of me, I struck the pedestrian. Now there's a guy with his priorities set straight. An invisible car came out of nowhere, slammed into my vehicle and shouldn't have let the amazing Dexter drive. I was thrown from my car as I left the road and was later found in a ditch by some stray cows. Well, the pedestrian had no idea what direction to go, so I ran over him. of people like that in the crosswalks. Besides, the line was green and I was late for electrolysis. And the last one. I was on my way to the doctor with rear end trouble when my universal joint gave way, causing me to have an accident. I'll be back right after these messages on KBNU.
The hour with Bill Queeazy.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You probably heard this story about, have you heard about this monastery of monks? Bless their hearts, they live clear up on the top of a mountain, somewhere in the United States, but I don't know where, and they've been doing this for a couple of hundred years now. And anyway, they have taken a vow of silence, these monks have. Every morning, about 4 o'clock, they file silently with their cowls and their robes, without uttering a word because of their vow of silence. They filter into the chapel on top of that mountain and sit silently facing a stained glass window, a huge one, waiting and waiting. And finally the first rays of the sun hit that stained glass window and bathed that little chapel in a beautiful hue, every color in the rainbow. And then as if on a silent command, they all stand and utter the one word they are allowed to speak. And they chant in 4-part harmony, morning. And then they turn around and they file out and they go about their day's activities every morning, 7 days a week. This has gone on for a couple of hundred years. They filed into the chapel, they sat down, they waited, the rays hit the stained glass window, they stood up in 4-part harmony, chanted, morning. And then one monk clear at the back said, evening. And the head monk up at the front turned around and said, some monks chant till evening.